Hey guys, SpinoDude here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the CollectA 2020 Fukuisaurus. Alright, so this was one of, if not my most hyped figure from CollectA for 2020 actually. I actually never heard of Fukuisaurus as a genus before they made this figure, but I just fell in love with just the overall appearance of this little piece, just the coloration, the pose, the little details, just everything just really fell together. It just made this look like an absolutely beautiful little figure for their standard line. Now this figure is a little bit smaller than I was expecting. In the images I expected it to be a little bit larger than this, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it is a gorgeous piece, and I was quite blown away when I first took it out of the packaging. It has a little bit of a different style in comparison to CollectA's most recent standard collection prehistoric world figures, and I think the most standout thing that is different from it is that it has a slightly glossy finish to the paint. I think this is a great choice. The extra shine really helps showcase each individual scale that is on the sculpt. The coloration is great as well. I've actually decided to name this little figure Cookie for obvious reasons. It looks like a chocolate chip cookie with a splash of milk on it as well, with the white markings. And I think the coloration is very different but quite bold and just works really well on this particular animal. Now the details are great. The little tiny scales are carved throughout the sculpt. There is a slight dark brown wash to help bring those out, and of course the glossy finish over the top really helps catch the light and showcase each of those scales depending on which way you face the figure in the light. Of course, I do like this row of scoots going up the top. I like how they get bigger above the hips as they run down the quite wide tail. The tail looks very muscular, and I really like that. I will say the feet look a little bit awkward. I feel like they should be a little more fleshed out. They feel kind of bony, for lack of a better word, and the legs looking from the back do have a strange sort of almost warped and just a strange angle to them when you look at them from the back, but from the sides and from any other angle they look perfectly fine. The hands also exhibit some really nice claws, and all the claws on the feet and the hands are done in a gray color, which works really well against the main tan color for the body in my opinion. And I also really like how this arm is lifting off of the ground. There are some really nice wrinkles and folds throughout the sculpt as well. Now the head on this sculpt is absolutely minuscule, but it does exhibit some absolutely beautiful details here. You can see the nostrils carved out on the front of the snout there. The eye is done in a black glossy color, which I think is a great choice. Really makes the eye stand out. And I love the white markings around the face as well, which really brings attention to the face and just differentiates it from the rest of the body. The ear is also carved out on the back of the skull there. The beak is done in a gray color, and even the interior of the mouth has been sculpted and painted out in a fleshy pink color, if you can see in there, and the tongue is even there as well, which is very nice. Now one thing that was brought to my attention is that the bottom jaw appears to be slightly longer than the top jaw. It's not to the point where it's super distracting. I didn't even notice it until it was pointed out to me. But yeah, for being such a small figure, I think that the head looks very naturalistic and just absolutely beautiful. So that's pretty much it for the new 2020 CollectA Fukuisaurus. Overall, I think this figure is absolutely 100% worth your money. I got this guy for $4 US off of Minizoo. I'll put a link down below in the description if you want to go get your own. They just became available recently. And this, as of right now, is my favorite standard CollectA figure. I just think it is so naturalistic with a beautiful pose that complements the CollectA Fukuiraptor quite nicely from what I've seen. I do not have the Fukuiraptor, unfortunately, but it looks quite nice with this sort of running alongside it. And yeah, I 100% recommend this little guy. And in case you're wondering how big this figure is, it is about 5.5 inches long, which is about 14 centimeters, and at its highest point, which is the top of the back above the hips there, we're looking at about 2.5 inches, which is about 5.5 centimeters. And for a quick comparison, here is the 2020 CollectA Fukuisaurus next to the 2019 CollectA Borealipelta. Now this Borealipelta was previously my favorite standard line CollectA figure. The details on the armor plating on the back are just absolutely beautiful in my opinion, but this Fukuisaurus just blows it out of the water in my opinion with the really nice intricate intricate paint job that doesn't seem sloppy whatsoever. The paint on the Borealopelta in a few areas looks a little bit strange, I guess, for lack of a better word. It looks like some of the paint was scraped off on certain parts of the body, and the black wash on the underbelly just doesn't really do it for me too much, but it's still a really nice piece, and these two are my two favorite standard line CollectA figures that I own at the moment. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like if you liked, and I'll see you all in my next one. So take care, and bye-bye.